everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly outlook for the sign of Capricorn for March 8th to the 15th. All right, guys, let's get right into it. I'm going to, hang on, before I do that, let me just remind you, I am giving away this deck for my monthly giveaway, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Deck and Guidebook. It's a beautiful, beautiful big box with the deck, obviously, and the book that comes with it. Really, really gorgeous. And it is my animal spirit deck, my go-to animal spirit deck that I use for my weeklies. And all you have to do to be in the running for this deck is to, of course, be a subscriber on my channel and to leave me a comment, comment on any of my videos letting me know that you're interested in being in a draw. I just don't want to give the deck to someone who's not interested in working with it, and that's it there. So, all right, guys. So great. Let's get right into it, Capricorn. We're going to pull out your romance angel messages for this coming week, and then we're going to go ahead and pull out those animal spirits, and then your traditional spread. All right, guys. So, let's get it going. All right, guys. All right, I already know that top card. We have Unrequited Love, Capricorn. It's interesting that this card is like so beat up, right? Of all my cards, I always feel like it's the energy of the card as well, you know, because it's so painful. Make the effort, right? And then we have Calling in Your Soulmate. All right, Capricorn. Well, we're going to know more about those messages as we go on and pull out the rest of your cards. Let's go ahead and get those animal spirits out for you now. So animal spirits can come into your life in a number of different ways. They can come in as an energy that is becoming available to you, right, to perhaps help you through a difficult time, or to guide you in some way. They can sometimes indicate individuals, characteristics, or personality types of individuals that you may be dealing with. So let's go ahead and just see. Of course, this is not going to resonate with every single Capricorn out there. This is only one reading, and so just take it as it applies to your life, all right? We have straight out the spider, weaving its web of Dharma. We have the buffalo. Wow, I love this one. Bridging or a connection, having the connection between the heavenly and the divine and the earth. Both are earth animal spirits. And we have the lizard, which is a fire animal spirit. All right, let's go ahead and talk about these, and then I'll go ahead and get your spreads out. First, the spider. Spider is the animal spirit for Dharma, right? And Dharma is when we live our life according to a particular code of ethics, a right way of living, right? A right way of acting. And this is sort of, this is going to be based on your spiritual outlook or your spiritual principles, your moral center, right? You know, when you have a commitment to a particular spiritual belief, then you often, of course, you're going to also have an idea of the right way to live, the right way to, you know, do the things you do, make the decisions you make, the right way to eat, the right way to behave. Some religions don't eat meat, or some religions don't eat pork, or, you know what I mean? That will be an example of Dharma, but it also, what it does is it also strengthens your spiritual stability, right? And it also provides a financial stability. What happens with the spider is that because of its commitment to living a life of Dharma, through Dharma, all of his actions that it takes begin to form a pattern, just like the web. And webs, as you know, you may or may not know, are extremely strong things if you compare them to the size of, the silk that's being used, right? And so This is a really strong animal spirit for providing financial and spiritual stability for your home, for your environment, for your family. Now, the buffalo is also earth element, but the buffalo is a very strong, wise, and also, again, here we have a very spiritual animal spirit. The one thing with the buffalo is that it really sort of is the perfect sort of combination or connection between the heavenly and the material, the earth, right? Strong earth animal spirit, of course, right? But it has this deep and long running experience and spiritual sort of understanding, right? Heavenly sort of connection. And what we find with the spirit of the buffalo is that it really comes into our lives when we are dealing with very difficult terrain, right? Difficult experiences or difficult times. The buffalo sees any sort of troublesome time or sort of it sees any sort of difficult stage in our life, perhaps, right, as an opportunity for transcendence, right? As an opportunity for learning something or understanding something about its higher self, its spirit self. And so the buffalo doesn't fear illness, it doesn't fear death, it doesn't fear, you know, the difficulties that we encounter in the material world, right? Pain, death, illness, difficulties with working, right? Poverty, things like that, right? All of the difficult experiences that we have that are associated with the earthly plane, the buffalo absolutely does not fear it because it only ever sees those times as an opportunity to connect to the divine. And so this is a very, very unique and very special animal spirit. Of course, we know that many cultures, certainly in the Western Hemisphere, I'm sure in some cultures, the Eastern Hemisphere as well, but certainly in our hemisphere of the world, the buffalo is revered as a very strong and wise animal spirit. Now, the lizard is a fire elemental, and the lizard is associated with extrasensory perception. All right, the lizard is one of these animals that is so highly attuned and perceptive that it's going to see things before they happen. It's going to, notice changes in energy, etc., that other people may never see or notice. It's the highest card in the deck for those type of abilities, for ESP abilities, right? However, the one thing with the lizards is that sometimes when that conduit is open, too much information comes in, and this animal spirit can get very overworked. So if you are if you're one of these people who has that ability, if you have extrasensory abilities, you have a heightened sense of intuitive abilities as well, then you are feeling overwhelmed by all of the information that's coming into you as a result of those abilities or data that's coming into you. You find yourself just being worn out by it all, by the energy of it all coming in. Then the spirit of, this is sort of the warning, right, of the spirit of the lizard coming into your life, reminding you that, yes, you have these abilities, but, when they run too hot, you will get overheated and you will get burned out. And so you have to take a step back. You have to, calm yourself. Certainly if you are resonating with the spirit of the lizard in your life, oftentimes you will have to take breaks from whatever environment is causing you to run hot in that way and cool down. All right, Capricorn, let's go ahead and pull out your 3 cards for the week, your 3 spreads. Now, these are intended to be 3 different outlooks for 3 different Capricorns, so you're not going to necessarily resonate with all of them, right? And that's fine. Let's go ahead and see what your week might be like. And if this doesn't resonate for you, if none of these outlooks or forecasts represent anything that's going on in your life, then this reading simply is not for you, Capricorn, right? All right, let's get right into it. We have straight out Hierophant, Ten of Pentacles, and Temperance. Wow. All right, Capricorn, we, turning this over. We don't need to turn it over. I'm not looking at the bottom of the deck. Let's move this up a little bit also. So Capricorn, you are coming in, those resonating with this spread are coming into this week. Really sort of, it's interesting with the Spider coming in. With the Hierophant really coming into this week, doubling down on your faith, right? On your moral code, on your spiritual code. Doubling down on your commitment to that. You know, sometimes the Hierophant can really indicate that you may have even met a spiritual teacher, or you may be partaking in sort of religious or spiritual events this week. Sometimes when we have the Hierophant showing up in a love connection or a love reading, it can indicate certainly a heightened sense of commitment, a sense of heightened level of commitment that may even sort of result in marriage, right? But more than anything, the Hierophant oftentimes can sort of be a reminder, you know, of your spiritual code, your moral center, and a reminder energy coming into your life of the fact that you really need to adhere to that, you know. And then, of course, when we talk about Spider living in Dharma, I would say that the Hierophant is very much associated with this energy because, of course, the Hierophant is requiring you to live your life according to that spiritual center, right? Making sure the decisions that you make and the actions that you take are always in line with your beliefs, and that commitment is absolute. You're coming into the week really thinking about this, Capricorn. You met with Ten of Pentacles energy. And this is excellent. This feels very much like things are happening in your life this week that are taking you up to the next level. And just like I said here, sometimes this can indicate marriage. I would say that the Ten of Pentacles can indicate the financial stability that you need for marriage or having a family, right? Because this is completion. Tens are completion. Ten of Pentacles, you know, generally will indicate that you have reached a level of financial abundance and security that will support a family life, that will support children, or that will support, you know, that next leg of your life as you sort of now have your family, you know, your husband, your wife around you, your children around you, right? And so now you're ready to sort of live your life with that family unit, and you have the money for it, you have the stability for it, you have the job, what have you, right? So it's a strong card for stability, but certainly a strong card for, you know, talking about resonating up to a level in financially and materially where you can move forward, right? Move forward with your deeper relationship commitments. By the end of the week, you resonate with Temperance energy, Capricorn. It could be very well that all of this Ten of Pentacles could have been extremely overwhelming in a lot of ways, because oftentimes, of course, Ten of Pentacles indicates money coming in, right? Of course, like I just described, for those purposes, but yes, of course, on the ground, it's like rewards coming in, money coming in, financial abundance coming in. And then we have the Hierophant, so we have Temperance. It's interesting that you will resonate with that Temperance energy. It could be that by the end of the week, you're being very sort of calm and centered about your next step, right? Some of you may be indeed getting into a marriage, asking someone to marry you, right? And so by the end of the week, or getting into that deeper level of commitment that the Ten of Pentacles now is able to financially support. But, you know, you're being calm about it. You're not reacting. You're not letting, you know, you're not showing your hand. You're not sort of letting people sort of, you know, get you off your square or interrupt your energy. And I think you're being very, very focused right now as a result of all of this, because certainly coming into the week, Capricorn, you were focused on your spiritual outlook and path. So, you know, I think that Temperance energy coming in for you by the end of the week is a way for you to deal with this money coming in, this financial abundance coming in a very wise way. This also feels very much like the spirit of the buffalo coming in also, because of course we have religious belief here, a belief in the divine, because the Hierophant, of course, symbol for the divine, or the highest symbol for the divine in our lives here on earth, and a connection with finances. Right here with Ten of Pentacles. So I think that certainly, yeah, you are rounding off this week with a feeling of being very kind of still and calm and almost meditative in a way about the next steps that you're going to take. And for some of you, if you are indeed about to get into a marriage or asking someone to marry you, this is your way of sort of, establishing calm, focus, and intention around that. Four of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Three of Swords. Wow. Okay, so some of you are coming into this week with a Four of Cups energy. And the Four of Cups is a feeling, I would say here, it's a feeling of somebody certainly is offering you help. Somebody's offering you a cup of love. They're trying to come into you and you're not there for it. Right? You're just really not there for it. You're really sort of like not accepting their help. You don't want it. Sometimes Four of Cups can indicate somebody who wants a romantic connection with you. It can also just indicate friends or family who are coming in with this cup of love to sort of say, look, we're here for you. We can help you, as a form of support. Right? Because 4 is number for stability. And so they're sort of handing you this cup of love to help you maintain your stability through a difficult patch. But, here you find yourself just not wanting it. You don't accept it. Right? But I think in this particular case, it could be somebody coming in for you, Capricorn, who's hurt you before, or sometimes it can be somebody new who you're going to say, well, look, you're offering me a cup of love. I require a little bit more before I just hand you my heart. But here it feels like somebody coming back into you, perhaps almost in a reconciliation way, conciliatory way, right? To maybe say, hey, like a peace offering, or hey, can I come closer? Can we talk? And you're not there for it at all. You come into the week with Knight of Pentacles energy meeting you, and events are going to play out this week, I think, where you are definitely going to be moving on. You're definitely going to be moving on your path of abundance and focusing on your career or your business. The Knight of Pentacles is extremely focused and committed, right? So here we have again this notion of commitment coming in, right? Knight of Pentacles is a very slow knight, though. It takes it's a long road. It can be a rough road, He will reach his destination because he is the most committed knight in the deck, but it can take some time. In any case, events happen and experiences come into you this week that really sort of get you to refocus on this path for yourself. And again, it can certainly be coming out of a situation here where you're kind of leaving something behind that just doesn't feel right for you. Three of Swords. Three of Swords is, it's betrayal. Right? It's being betrayed. It's being hurt. It can be third-party energy. It's just simply a case of, having had your trust completely broken in someone by their actions. They may have promised you one thing, but their actions were completely opposite to that. And you round off your week with a real feeling of hurt. And this is quite interesting because it feels to me like, you're kind of maybe still having to do some healing here. Right? Because this person has come into you, and this is why I said earlier, this person may have come into you in a way to sort of say, I'm sorry, or bridge, mend the gap between the two of you, or, mend that bridge of communication between the two of you, because perhaps there was an event between the two of you, between you and this person that was painful and that had hurt you. And you say no, and it's like you move on with your life, but by the end of the week, there is like sort of a residual kind of, it's not like that it's lingering, but it's almost, I feel Capricorn, like it's almost like this person coming into you, the only thing that they've done is kind of reminded you of how you were hurt, right? It certainly reminded you of that Three of Swords pain. Definitely, though, this week, the events that come into you this week, it's like, you know, it's like seeing an ex for the first time in a very long time. They're like sort of like, oh, hey, how you doing? And trying to maybe possibly get in with you again. And you're not there for it, but you're also on your path in a certain way with this Knight of Pentacles. And so you do go on your path, but you just you leave, you know, and you carry on your path, but you do have this, you know, it's like this memory comes right back to you of this really difficult pain that you went through. And I do believe that this is definitely connected to the person who handed you or tried to hand you this cup of love. Judgment, Emperor, Seven of Pentacles. This is the last spread, Capricorn. Judgment, again, is the card for reconciliation, forgiveness. I know it says judgment, but it's one of the, for me, it's that card in the tarot that it's like complete, you know, it's just, of course it's the right label, right? Judgment, but really what we talk about, it's sometimes it can be misleading because it's really more talking about having right and proper criticism, not being overly critical or over judgmental, but really seeing situations through clear vision and through clear sort of understanding and perception. So yes, you are still being critical, you're still making judgments, you're still discerning, but you are doing it in a much more expansive and open way and not in that narrow-minded sort of extreme way. This can also indicate a desire to reconcile with somebody. So you come into the week with this energy that you are feeling of kind of like letting some things go, realizing some things about perhaps past events that you've been in, and letting go some of that guilt, that hypercriticism. And so the Emperor comes into you. You meet the Emperor this week, and I feel like this is going to be someone who is an authority figure in your life, right? This could be sort of someone you work with or work for. This could be a relative who has a certain amount of authority in your life, or, you know, I want to say the ability to make certain decisions or bring certain decisions to the foreground, right? This is strong sort of dominant energy, the Emperor. You know, he is the king, and he brings order to a chaotic situation, right, oftentimes. But in any case, I think you're dealing with somebody like this week who's very much in that position. They may even have come into you and are offering you something or talking to you about something. It could be that this was somebody that perhaps in the past you did not discuss certain things with, or you, because of, you know, the judgment that you had, right? You may know this person or have been working with this person for a long time, but because of this energy here of broadening your awareness and sort of perspective on situations, it's almost like you are now looking at this Emperor in very, very different light. And it could feel like a feeling of not necessarily full-blown reconciliation, but a mutual understanding that perhaps wasn't there before. Round your week off with Seven of Pentacles, which is a real feeling of wanting to reevaluate all of your accomplishments because you're just not quite happy with what you see there. All of the work that you've put in, you're not really sure if you're happy with the fruits of your labor here. And somehow this Emperor is going to be impacting that. And that's why I said this could certainly be somebody that you work for, a boss, a supervisor, somebody that you work with, somebody perhaps in your life that gives you advice, you know. And I think it may be because of this judgment energy that you are more open to that, right? You might be more open to listening to the advice of this Emperor who comes in for you this week. And then, of course, the knock-on effect is that you really have, you kind of end the week with a feeling of reevaluating your life effort or your career business effort, right? But doing it from a much more open perspective, because of course you've opened up here with judgment. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. My lovely Capricorns, March 8th to the 15th. Don't forget to let me know if you're interested in the Animal Spirit Deck and Guidebook. If you are, of course, you have to also be a subscriber on my channel, so please don't forget to do that. And don't forget to hit those that notification bell because I will be announcing the winner of the drawing March 31st via a winner video on my channel. So please don't miss that. If I don't hear back from the winner within a few, I usually give them about a week or even a week or two sometimes, because people aren't always on their YouTube page, but I'm going to give you a week. I'm not going to give you 2 weeks like I did at Christmas, because we were all so busy, but certainly a week for you to get back to me. And you will have to get back to me and give me your details, or else I will then go and pick another winner, which is why I always say please turn those bell notifications on. But for right now, Capricorn, have a wonderful week. I'll see you next week for your general outlook. Bye-bye now.